So today we're actually going to start talking about one of the last things. I've talked a lot about habit stuff, right? And I thought I was going to move on, and then I realized I hadn't talked about identity-based habits. So I thought I would talk a little bit about this. And one of the main places I saw this was actually from James Clear, jamesclear.com. And we actually did an episode with James on Internet Business Mastery. I think it was 192 or 195, I can't remember. And so I wanted to do one more scope about that. I'm adding it to this crazy mind map that I have. And actually, I'll even show it to you guys if you want. I was watching a replay of yours when live. Yeah, jamesclear.com. Yes, that is it. Good morning from Denver. Not too far from me. I am in Salt Lake. All right, so I'm going to show you, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but I am going to show you this crazy mind map I'm putting together. I'm trying to actually take all of these different habit ideas that all these people have, and whether it's, science researchers figuring all this out or whatever it is, if it's working for me, I'm going to put it all together and probably at some point make a course out of it. So I was going to show you kind of this mind map of all this stuff together if you want. Always interested in seeing how other people mind map. Okay, cool. Let's do it. All right, can you even see? So I have two of these mind maps. And this one is actually about creating a habit. And then I have another one that is about replacing a habit, because apparently they're different. Yeah, not so well. I'll talk through some of it. But you can see I've got a ton of stuff, and some of these nodes are even closed. I've got rules, and this is just going through all of these different books. Like I said, I'm up to 15 books about, just wanted to kind of show you that, but I realized again that one of the nodes wasn't filled out. I had mapped it out when I was reading all this stuff, and one of them wasn't, and that is the identity-based habits. So I thought I would kind of go through that just a little bit. I want to add one more tool to this habit thing, being able to make sure that we have all the bases covered. So like in the past, we've talked about being able to create success rules to make sure that your habits actually, or your behaviors actually become habits. And then we talked about tiny habits. I guess 2 weeks ago. What is a mind map? Oh, actually, you can look at mindmeister.com. They have a free MindMeister, or mindomo.com. That's actually the first one I started with. And it's free, and it's basically trying to get all the ideas out of your head out onto something in the way that your brain thinks, instead of just simply writing them down like in a Word document or on a notepad or whatever. Yeah, there we go. MindMeister, that's a good one right there. That's a free one. I actually used a different one than that, but it's a paid one. MindMeister or MindOmo, yes. Love MindMeister. Yeah, and they even have, one of those has a video showing you how to do mind maps. But anyway, so the identity-based habit, I wanted to kind of go over a couple of things behind it so we can get that into your head as well as another tool we can use. So one of the things, again, this is from jamesclear.com. He talks about the identity-based habits. And one of the things he says is, the key to building a lasting habit is focusing on creating a new identity first. All right, so that's an interesting idea, because I think we're all going, okay, I got to change this behavior, or I have to create this new behavior. And he's talking about actually create the identity first. And he has this little thing, I printed it out. You probably can't see it all that well. Here, I'll put it up here. But what he has is in the center here, this is your identity. Right? So if we change this first, we can affect these outer layers. And this layer right here says your performance. So that's going to be the actual behavior we're trying to do, right? Is our performance is out here. And then the outer area is your appearance, which is how other people are seeing it, basically. Right? So if we can affect this identity, kind of the theory is that will automatically affect this performance and make it absolutely easier to get these behaviors into habits. So, and by the way, guys, if you think anybody else could benefit from this, please share. All you got to do is tap the little guy down here, and you're able to share that with not only your Periscope people, but also your Twitter people if you think they'll be interested. And of course, thank you for, actually, it's over here. Change from the inside out. Yeah, that's absolutely what it is. Thanks for the hearts, guys. The hearts, in case you don't know, just let me know that you're interested in the subject and you're getting value from it. So if you tap the screen, boom, that's it. Ryan, thanks so much for inviting your followers and both Ryans, girl and guy Ryan. Hey, thanks so much, guys. So again, we're going to talk about the identity habit. And, again, his first thing was the key to building lasting habits is basically start, like you said, from the inside out and creating a new identity first. Okay, so again, thanks, Dan, for sharing that with people. Again, we're going to go right here and start with your identity, then work on your performance. So here's some things that he said. The cool thing about this is I was thinking about it. That's why I mentioned the whole superhero thing is I was thinking about it like, basically in the whole superhero model, they have their superhero, they are that identity, but then they have to fit in with everybody else. They have to have this ordinary identity. Like, I don't know much about all the superhero stuff. I never read comic books, but the general idea, I know Superman, who doesn't know at least some of the generals on that, he has to play this identity of Clark Kent, which is kind of this bumbling, doesn't know certain things and kind of innocent, this kind of stuff. He has to play that guy to blend in, but really, we want to go the other way, right? Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. Hold on. Whoa! Okay, so we want to be able to create that superhero identity from the start so that we can make those behaviors actually become that superhero, that identity, instead of the ordinary Clark Kent. Morning from Boston. Hey, Dan. What's up? Bless you. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. So anyway, that's what I was kind of thinking of it, and it totally fits with the whole epic model, right? The epic model of we want to create and live a heroic life, not just an ordinary life. So we want to go the opposite way with the identity from the normal superheroes. So he said there's a recipe for sustained success with this idea of creating the identity before even working on the behaviors that will become habits, right? And this still, thank you for the hearts, guys. Oh, it's over here. And this idea completely fits with the model I was talking about. If you've got epic life right here, then we move this way and we have to have the goals that we can actually achieve to create this epic life. And then to be able to do the goals, we have to create these habits that will make these goals actually happen. And before the habits is we have to create the behaviors that will become the habits, right? Let's see. Jeremy, have you seen Super Better, book coming out this month about gaming for a better life? No, but I completely love that idea. That's a really awesome book. Super Better. Yeah, I'm going to definitely write that one down and check that out. Because I love the idea of the reason in the Facebook group, the Epic Life Quest Facebook group that I run, the reason I kind of have a matrixy theme there is because I love that idea of being able to become kind of the hero of your own story, right? And seeing the matrix, seeing what isn't real, and being able to get past all of that. Creators of superbetter.com. That's awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much for that. I'm absolutely going to check that out. But anyway, so the recipe for sustained success, here's what he says. Changing your belief isn't nearly as hard as you think. There are 2 steps. Number 1, decide the person you want to be. Okay, so let's think of that. So one of my top keystone habits is that I'm trying to get, to my peak health. And so one of the things I guess you would think of as far as the exercise stuff would be, decide the person you want to be. Thank you, Ryan. Is I'm the type of person that does healthy things, whether it's move or exercise. I actually have kind of moved away from exercise because of reading this No Sweat book. that we've been talking about, Captain America, that's who you want to be. The No Sweat book, talked about finding things that you actually enjoy doing as far as moving and just doing them and thinking of them as gifts to yourself instead of chores you have to do. So for me, I want to be that person that moves, right? Like that has movement as a gift to myself every single day. So that's part of an identity. I'm somebody who moves all the time. Or again, you can use the term exercise if you want. Man, I got cat hair. Cat loving this morning just really got me. There we go. So the moving part, and then the other part is the eating part, right? So part of the health is going to be the movement, getting your body physically moving more, exercising more, push-ups. We talked about the tiny habits. I'm still doing them. So just in case you haven't heard before me talk about this, one of the tiny habits I do is every time I check Facebook, I do 2 push-ups. Every time I check Twitter, I do, 5 crunches. Every time I check my email, I do, what's that one? 5 squats, right? And I do that every time. So I end up doing like 60 push-ups a day, just 2 little push-ups at a time, right? So that's the tiny habit idea. But now, again, we're going one step back into the idea of let's create that identity. I'm the type of person, right? Like we can kind of start that sentence is the heroic part of me is a person that does eat well, doesn't eat too much, eats only when they're hungry, uses food as fuel, not as like emotional soothing or any of the other stuff. I just use food as fuel, right? And I move my body. Let's see. I had a shirt made up for my website to wear it. And feel like an entrepreneur. Awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, when we first started Internet Business Mastery, I had a shirt made that said unemployable on the front, and then on the back it said thanks to Internet Business Mastery. And I wore that really, really early on when we had first done our first coaching course. So same kind of thing. And then here's just a little side note story. Then when I was living on the beach in San Diego, my cliche, you got to live on the beach when you're successful. I was out in the water and I didn't realize it, but I had the shirt on and some guy goes, "Hey, are you from Internet Business Mastery?" And I thought, oh my God, I'm known. People know me. I'm in the ocean trying to boogie board, not surf, but the guy next to me was a surfer, and he said that, but he saw the back of my shirt. I didn't realize it. But he said, I've listened to your podcast once I told him who I was. Let's see. Got the mug. Right. All right, anyway, so the identity stuff. Number 1, the type of person you want to be. So I want to be a vibrant, healthy person. So that is the identity. So when I'm able to create the behaviors, I start with that. Well, would a vibrant, healthy person do these other behaviors that do not fit into that? Right? So that's the identity stuff. Yeah, I like the landscape. Yeah, Linda, I agree. No push-ups at the supermarket. Yeah, I don't actually check my phone or any of the social media stuff when I'm out. So, but people have been asking me that. I wonder if I would do that. Excuse me, guys. Get down and do a couple push-ups because I'm sitting there checking my Facebook. Let's see. Except use a different phrase that goes along with law of attraction. I'm actually not a big law of attraction person because they talk too much about the idea and not the action. So, but I really, really like the idea of starting with the identity. I'm a vibrant, healthy person. That is my identity. So then any behavior, even outside of the behaviors I'm trying to make be habits, are based on me being a healthy, vibrant person. Like, for instance, yesterday, I actually met a very, very successful student of ours with Internet Business Mastery, Eric Nordoff, and he does kind of a Comic-Con for Walking Dead. And we were at the Cheesecake Factory, and it's so funny because I have very specific rules now that I like to follow with this whole eating thing. When they came and said, "Hey, do you guys want some cheesecake?" I was able to go, I can have cheesecake. On this non-diet thing, this healthy thing, I can have anything I want, but later. Desserts are always later. So I went, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not going to have a cheesecake. I could have a cheesecake. I could have whatever I want, But yeah, I'll have that next time. Maybe next time I'll have the cheesecake. And that's part of the rule stuff. And that's based on that identity of going, well, will that contribute to me being a healthy, vibrant person? Yeah, make it your choice, because I can have it. I actually am completely not on a diet. And by the way, since we started all of this, I've lost 13 pounds. And I've lost that with no diet. I had pizza, 2 pieces of pizza a couple of days ago. Now that's better than having half the pizza, or even worse, most of the pizza. Just had 2 pieces, still lost 2 pounds that day. It was a crazy day. But anyway, so the first thing, decide the type of person you want to be. There's only one more parts to his recipe. The other one is prove it yourself with small wins. Sweet, yeah, thank you. So prove it to yourself with small wins, and that's kind of what I've been talking about, these tiny habits. So if you're the type of person that moves, right, then make those tiny habits that are, 2 push-ups. For me to get down and do 2 push-ups every time I do Facebook, 2 push-ups is nothing, right? And now I'm up to about 20 I can do in a row, whereas about 6 weeks ago I could do 7, maybe. And that's all just from doing 2 push-ups each time, instead of having to try and go to 10 or go to 20 every single time. Just do those 2 push-ups again. And it is, yes, Linda, the goal is these absolutely tiny steps, right? And so mixing that with, so I'm mixing the tiny habits thing, right? And I think you can go to tinyhabits.org or .com. I can't remember what it is. Maybe somebody, if you're by your computer, you can look that up. Tiny habits. You can do a 5-day with the doctor that does that. His name's BJ Fogg. So I did that 5-day thing, and that's how I created some of these tiny habits. Eat, move, de-stress, sleep, smile, love, my daily habits. That is awesome. Yeah, and it's funny because that de-stress thing, now I actually use the movement part. That's part of a gift of de-stressing. So after I do a bunch of my business stuff during the day, at night I do a big walk. And then one of the other things I do now is before bed, because, oh man, I don't have it right here, but we talked about a week ago about having your self-care hierarchy. And sleep is a big one. On the bottom of mine is sleep, and then it's learning, right? So to be able to really take in all of the learning, I'm doing 3 to 5 books a week. So to be able to take as much of that learning in, I need to have that solid sleep. Well, I came up with kind of a habit to do to help me make sure I at least get my 7.5 hours, right? And what I do is I go to the gym, not to work out at night, right before I'm going to go to bed. I go into the steam room and the hot tub, then go home, go right to bed, right? Sleep is foundational, yeah. Part of the base of that self-care. And so these are just these tiny little things, and it's funny because normally, Carolina, what's up? Normally, of course, I would never go to the gym without thinking, oh, I got to do this huge, huge workout. I can't just go there for myself to be able to just simply go into the hot tub so that I can go to sleep easier. And I talked about a couple of days ago too, a digital sunset. Now, how many of you don't know what a digital sunset is? Slept 12 hours the other night, not my usual. Whoa. Let's see. Man, I need to add learning. I do learn daily, but it's not on the list. Yeah, that is my second from the bottom. Okay, yeah, I'll talk about that digital sunset. So with the self-care hierarchy, right, we've got like the triangle thing. On the bottom for me is sleep, then it's learning, then it's moving, then it's idea creation, the very top. Those are my 4 main things I need to do every day to feel like it was an epic day, right? To feel like I'm ready to live that epic day. So the digital sunset, I just started that this week. Yeah, pyramid. There we go. Digital sunset, yes. Andrea? Let's see. That is where you set a specific time. So let's say you go to bed at 10 at night. You set a specific time, whether it's 9 p.m. or even 8 p.m., no more devices, no more looking at your phone, no more screens including television. So now what I do, I actually do it at 8 and I go to bed somewhere around 9:30 or 10. Sleep, learning, moving, and ideas. Awesome. So at 8 o'clock, go for a walk. That's kind of my de-stress, chat, I go with my person, Nikki, and we talk, and we just talk about all the cool things that happened during the day, or even the crummy things that we want to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. Then I go to the gym, go to the steam room, hot tub, home, and bed. No more screens. Whereas in the past, what I used to do is I'd go to bed, and then I would watch some TV program or movie or something. And even if I was super tired and wanted to go to sleep within 15 minutes, a lot of times I would get totally wrapped up in it and it would get me all hyped into watching the show. And then I'd go to bed an hour and a half later instead of 15 minutes or so when I wanted to. So Scott says, no backlit devices the last hour before bed. Yeah, they disrupt your sleep patterns. Yeah, there's actually a lot of science behind that too when I was looking into that. Got to turn off the TV at night. Yeah, absolutely. My TV and I guess TV show and movie consumption has went down by like 80% since at least 80%, probably even 90% since let's see, July 15th is when I decided I was going to read 3 to 5 books every single week, and built almost all of this library since then. So almost 2 months, and I was able to get, I don't know, 100 and something books so far. Read 14 books last month, and that was part of this too, because if I get home from the gym, and I'm still awake, I'll read for a little bit. Periscope in bed right now. Well, yeah, waking up that way. Yeah, I don't watch much TV. That's awesome. I have a couple of shows that are really good, and I come from kind of a film and story writer background originally, so I find those ones that are really super good now. But I used to watch stuff that was like, it's okay, but it was something to do, right? It was a distraction rather than trying to live an epic life. We stream, but plan what we watch. Yeah, exactly. Like what? The latest show that I absolutely loved was Mr. Robot. Definitely the best show on this last summer. That was completely worth it to me. Very up my alley with things that I'm interested in. Yeah, just a handful. I cut back on my TV watching to about 1 or 2 hours a week. Yeah, that's about where I'm at now. Used to be a lot. Right, everything's about that conscious choice. Like we talked about way in the beginning of doing this a whopping 3.5 weeks ago, right? Was, Epic is about freedom and choice, really. When does season 2 start? Season 1 just ended, so I assume it'll be next summer. That's how AMC or USA, I can't remember which one. My husband's a fan of Get Smart. Wow, yeah, I haven't seen that. I've maybe seen 2 episodes of that. I'm a little more on the contemporary side with that. Periscope is the new TV. Well, hey, by the way, as a side note, I saw that Apple TV is considering putting a Periscope app on there. So at some point, you might be able to watch this on your television in that way. I pretty much stay drowned in personal development, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it far more. Again, I have just a couple of things I watch, but most movies now start getting really, really boring for me. Yeah, that's going to be weird. Yeah, can you imagine this will be on your television? And I remember when we started doing podcasting 10 years ago, when they started saying podcasting was going to be on all these other devices, we thought that was so weird. Like, how awesome is it going to be? Love my Apple TV, me too, TED Talks, podcasts. Yeah, awesome. So anyway, I guess I'll do a quick recap. Thank you guys so much for listening this morning, and thanks for all the hearts and all the people that shared today. Thanks so much for that. So we talked again really quickly about this right here, identity-based habits. We want to start with our identity first and then our behavior. And it'll be so much easier to change that behavior when we have the identity of the person that already does this behavior here, right? Like how awesome. Again, that seems like a life hack, right? And then we've got the recipe for sustained success within this identity-based habit stuff. Yeah, you're late again. Sorry. I'm right at the very end again. So, again, the recipe is, number 1, decide the person you want to be. And then number 2, prove it to yourself with small wins. And so he goes on to say, for example, a person who works out consistently is the type of person who can become strong, developing the identity of a person who works out first and then moves on to performance and appearance later. Start small and trust that the results will come as you develop a new identity. right? So again, that idea is we don't worry about. So when I started this whole kind of weight loss and healthy, vibrant thing, I was trying as much as I can. It's really hard to do that because we're taught to go, we have to know what the end result is. But instead, I was trying to go, I'm not trying to eat well simply to lose weight. I'm trying to eat well so that I get energy, so it is a gift to myself every day. Same with exercise. It is a gift I give to myself to de-stress, or just the enjoyment of moving, or just the enjoyment of only eating when I'm hungry and only eating until I'm full. Right? That has to be, like, if we can build the reward into the behavior itself, instead of think of it as, well, I'm going to eat really good, I'm going to have that piece of chicken and broccoli, and the reward will be in 8 months I'll lose 40 pounds, right? Like, instead of doing it that way, we instead go, the actual act, the behavior is the reward, right? That's, again, yet another one of these like epic hacks to me. So anyway, there you go. Any questions? I just wanted, again, to just come on. This is what I'm thinking about. That's basically what the scope's going to be, the epic stuff I'm looking into. And there you go. The behavior is the reward. Like, that is insane. How many people talk about habits that way? They talk about, see, like, let's see, did I bring the book over? I didn't. The Power of Habit talks about most habits are built with, it starts with a cue, then there's a routine, and then there's a reward, right? And so you're trying to hack that, basically those three things. Jeremy, all this information is really helpful. I'm glad. That's exactly what I wanted to do with this, is be able to, talk with you guys about the stuff that I'm into, and I'm trying to actually, one day I'll make all this stuff into a course. The Power of Habit, yes. So that's what he talks about, is that three-step process, basically. Cue, or the trigger, and then the routine that you do after the trigger, and then the reward you get. And I noticed that nobody was really talking about the reward, or they would say stuff about, make the reward, and this is what I do with the tiny habits. So I do my push-ups, and then I'm like, yeah! You're supposed to like, pump yourself up. But that's a little bit more of an extrinsic reward to me. Like, the idea of connecting the actual behavior as the reward seems completely epic to me. And who wouldn't sustain that when just doing the actual action that you want to be a habit, it'll become a habit much, much faster if it is the reward as well. Let's see, got that in my queue. Yeah, I really get into celebrating yourself. Yeah, and this book right here, if you haven't checked it out, No Sweat, is very, very much about that celebration, right? She talks about turning, again, she's another PhD researcher. I like the science-based stuff rather than just kind of the airy-fairy, what do they call it, self-help type stuff. I like the concrete stuff that we can really, really hack and be epic from. Read it, did you? Nice. So she talks about, instead of thinking of things, or I use it as goals, she talks specifically about exercise, but I think of it as, if we can turn the behavior that we need to turn into a habit, if we can turn that into the reward, man, that's awesome. So there you go, guys. I know, thank you for sharing. Somebody just shared, and I'm just wrapping up. So again, identity-based habit, that is the core. We have to, if we could change that first, boom, we'll be able to make the behavior happen because we're already that person. Okay, and Sean is saying the dopamine hits, then starts to precede the action before any final reward. Cool science for it. Yeah, absolutely. Your scopes are better than waffles. Man, that says a lot. Waffles are pretty good, right? And thank you guys for the hearts. I'm trying to position myself with the landscape. I think I got it. Hearts are here, comments are here, right? And then I get a little bit of comment action over here. Right? Okay, so if you actually have never seen me before and want to see more stuff like this, I do it almost every morning. I do this epic life quest stuff, or epic life scoping. You can actually just click the little Perry guy down here and then click the plus sign next to my name, and then you'll follow me. Right? And you'll get more of this stuff. And then at night I do a lot of stuff with scoper secrets and how to, use this Periscope stuff for business. Oh no. Bummer, Ryan. So anyway, and by the way, if you want to go to my Facebook group, I've got a Facebook group all around this whole epic life stuff. You can just type in Epic Life Quest, into the Facebook search, and my group is the first group. I've got a whiteboard that I usually write, but it's too far away. So yeah, Epic Life Quest, definitely come join. I put more stuff in there. I also make scope notes, so any of the links and stuff I talked about in this scope, I'll put the replay up here in about 10 minutes, and I'll make a list of all the different links, and that's an Epic Life Quest. If you type that into Facebook, it's in my group. I do those scope notes, and I post different cool, crazy things that I'm finding in this journey to create this amazing epic life. I make them, you can email me, awesome. And so here's what I'm going to probably be talking about next week. Again, I showed it a little bit last night, all about trying to create, if we can, a photographic memory. So when I'm reading all these books, I can just remember them all, right? Like I can remember every single aspect of them instead of, whatever it is, like 40% if we're really lucky, or 60%. So first one is Moonwalking with Einstein. But this is about a reporter who went and won like the Super Bowl of memory from scratch. Just learned a couple of things. Oh yeah, I've got that too. Bit.ly Epic Life Quest. And then Super Learning 2000, all about memory. Ooh, P-memory. That's awesome. I'm going to check that out. Yeah, I read 3 books at a time, basically. And then I got Memory Improvement. Supposedly helps you memorize entire books. Could you put that into the Facebook group? Because I'm going to forget about it in 10 minutes. P-memory, is that right? Because that's awesome. I totally want to check that out. Thank you. I read... The only thing I listen to now, I listen to biographies. So right now I'm listening to Elon Musk. I just listened to Jeff Bezos, who created Amazon. P-memory. Thank you, James. And then I actually physically read all the rest of the books. Whether it's all these crazy history books back here, big on philosophy. I do a lot of how-to books as well. P, phenomenal memory. Awesome. Yeah, P-memory. That's awesome. I'm going to forget about this in 10 minutes. Yeah, do you see why I need this? Great strategy. Yeah, I have this huge process that I go through to try and remember all these books that I'm reading, if they're good enough. Sometimes I just get one little idea from it and go, oh, that's a great idea, and I consider the book done for now. If it's not that great, or it just has one thing to offer, but sometimes it's crazy good, and I go crazy with it. So here's an example of crazy, if you guys can see. I marked this book up like insanely because it was so good. Again, the research and stuff behind all this is amazing, and it's stuff that I don't hear anybody talking about with the habit stuff. So no sweat, crazy good, awesome. Yeah, this is one of my favorite books from this last month, and then also The Power of Habit was really good. Although I think The Power of Habit with this, like I got to merge them together. That's why I'm creating that mind map I showed you guys in the beginning, because I want to make some sort of super course for myself, and then maybe I'll offer it to you guys once I really get it worked out. I want to make it so every goal I have, all I have to do is create a behavior that's going to lead me to that goal, so I'll actually be able to make all these goals happen. Oh, I missed that. Power of Habit. Damn, I crazy good. Awesome. Yeah, because again, like this habit thing is so the core of being able to make those goals happen. So, and I talked about before, I'm at about a 10, maybe 15% success rate on my goals for the last 20 years. Still been able to do a lot of crazy good things. Got to play with the whole make $1 million, make a business that makes millions of dollars. I got to be in a top movie. I got to, work in the movie industry. I worked in there for a while. Got to do a lot of great things, but that's still only 15% of what I really want to be able to accomplish with this life. So cool, guys. Make sure to go to the Facebook group. Any other questions about the identity stuff? Oh, and by the way, if you go to James Clear's site, sign up for his email news list, and he gives you the book where he talks about this. It's just an ebook like this. It's about 40 pages. I got all my notes and stuff in mine. In the middle of mindset and tipping point. With post, it's everything. Yeah. Love this, and thank you. Everyone get in the Facebook group. Yes, James Clear ebook. It's the habit ebook that he gives you for signing up for his newsletter. I've actually taught, his ebook actually led me in a lot of directions to help me find all the books to read about this. You're absolutely welcome, Nicole, for the great information. Thank you guys for the hearts. I'm going to put the replay up here in just a couple of minutes. If you missed any of this, in Epic Life Quest or bit.ly/Epic Life Quest. Join the group. Let's really make this a conversation. And basically, it's funny because, again, I'm not a comic book guy or anything, but I like the idea of thinking of this as we're creating ourselves to be like have the heroic journey, like we are the hero in our lives, rather than, just sitting back and watching everything else happen. That's what I absolutely wanted in my life. Bitly Epic Lifeless. Yeah, Epic Life Quest, actually. But there you go. All right, guys. Thanks so much. I will see you possibly tomorrow morning. We'll see what's going on here tomorrow. Great scope as usual. Thank you. You're very welcome, Diana. Sorry. Stupid autocorrect. Right. That's funny. Instead of Quest, it was Epic Lifeless. Hey, later, James. Talk to you guys later.